Well, hello and welcome again to the Skillwork Forum. I'm Tim. I'm joined with my partner, Brett, as always. And again, we just gather here to talk about issues, challenges, trends surrounding the skilled trades industries that need to use the skilled trades or even skilled tradesmen themselves. And before we get into today's topic, which is going to be a little bit outside our norm, I just wanted to give a quick plug. We have a new podcast out there that we're sponsoring. It's called The Proud Skilled Worker, and it really is the voice of the skilled tradesman. We really sensed a great demand and a lot of interest from that. So it's going to be hosted by one of our guys, Michael Petrowski, who's our director of operations here. He's going to have guests on that are skilled tradesmen actually out in the field, people that work in the skilled trades. He's going to be hearing from them, talking to them about issues, their concerns, what they're seeing, boots on the ground perspective. Really excited about that. So all the different platforms that this podcast can be found on, please look for it there. We're really excited about it. I think it's going to be great. So as I mentioned today, what Brett and I are going to be talking about, we're going to deviate a little bit from our normal format. You know, we're always trying to gather here to encourage business leaders across the whole spectrum of the skilled trades industries. And we don't typically talk a lot about what we do here. That's not the point of this forum. But we were just in a discussion yesterday. We were looking at our own business, pipeline, and it just dawned on us, and you specifically, Brett, that there's some things happening that are tied back to some trends that we projected for this year that are happening at a much more rapid pace than we anticipated.
Yeah, Tim and I were, and we call it our deal review, and so it's a biweekly meeting that we have here that our sales team kind of comes in and gives us an update on kind of what they're seeing, what we see coming as we try to prepare, operationally to handle that demand. And it was pretty clear in that meeting, yesterday that, that the demand is increasing. And so, we are 40 days into 2022. We'll be a little further than that by the time you're listening to this. And I just told Tim, I think there's where we typically don't get deep into what we do, and we're not going to get deep into it today either. But it just seemed like, maybe we should go back and take a quick retro look at those trends, because there's a couple of them, I think, that we're seeing them happen even faster than we thought they would.
Yeah.
And why wait till October or November to talk about them? Because by then, and much you can do about it.
Yeah, so just by way of reminder, again, you can go back and look at this one if you want to look at the two-part we did on 2022 trends. And, we covered 8 different things that we focused in on. The first 2 that we focused on there was the skilled labor shortages will increase. That was like Captain Obvious, but we're going to talk about that one and how that's definitely happened at even a faster pace. And also the baby boomer exodus, the experience drain, and this ties to the great resignation or the big quit that's going on now. So we want to specifically talk about the acceleration we're seeing in those 2. We talked about, several other topics, one of which that we just talked about uniquely on a previous podcast that we just completed that had to do with these rising cost and inflation fears. So that also, we're seeing that accelerate. But today, those first 2 items that we projected and we were all living in already, we kind of wanted to focus on that a little bit. And what are we seeing, boots on the ground, specifically related to the need and what companies are doing to kind of fill these demand and growing trends we're seeing.
Yeah, no, for sure. So like Tim said, those first 2 trends, skilled labor shortage will increase, and the baby boomer exodus is those 2 are tied together, obviously. That as the baby boomer exodus happens, and I guess like Tim alluded to a minute ago, it's pretty obvious. It's like, kind of like you're probably saying, tell me something I don't know. But I think the question is, is what are you doing about it? Are you doing, we all said our 2022, going to lose some weight, got to get a little healthier, goals and all that kind of stuff. And, I guess, not that I want to get into your personal business, but, are you doing that, and because you should, because it matters. And the same with your business. These trends are on us. I mean, they are very evident. And we're going to talk a minute in here about how we're seeing it in real time in our numbers at Skillwork. And so, but, the health of your business is key to, are you really doing something to address this skilled labor shortage in your business? Because if you're not, the health of your organization, I mean, let's be blunt, it's at risk.
Yeah, and we're seeing that there are those that are being very proactive with this. So it's not across the board, but those that are perhaps getting ahead of their competition are being very proactive. Some of you are doing just those things. As a matter of fact, just looking at our pipeline, we're seeing in our business a 50% increase in demand just since January. And our business is skilled tradesmen. So we're seeing a 50% increase in the demand from January 1 to today. We're in the middle of February. So 40 days, as Brett alluded to, that demand has grown by 50%. We anticipated the growth, but not at that pace. So, is everybody at that pace? Well, we have clients and customers all across the country. We're not a regional company, we're national. And I think it's pretty indicative of what we're seeing out there. So companies are beginning to aggressively look for alternative ways to be able to address it. So it's happening right now.
Well, we're in, and I think that's why we wanted to, take a little time today and kind of speak into that, because as Tim indicated, this is the Skillwork Forum, and our goal in the Skillwork Forum is to be really more kind of throw some thought out there and get people thinking about things and looking at the total industry and type of things, and like the trends. I mean, the 8 trends, that's something that Tim and I are reading on and looking at and talking about. But what we're talking about today, this is real. This is we're seeing this. We are, like I said a minute ago, we are 40 days in, and we've seen a 50% increase in the demand coming from existing clients, new clients that are coming and saying, hey, we need help and kind of a thing. And so, we would say, if that's you, great. And if it's not you, then, you need to go. You need to go now, because it's only going to get, we see the trend is now reality.
Yeah, well, if you think about the supply and demand, we know that the availability of skilled tradesmen, the guys that can actually do the skilled specialized work, that's a very small pool. And we've talked at length about how it's not being replenished at the pace necessary to keep up with the exodus. So those workers are coming from somewhere that's going to fill that demand. And it all ties back to the great resignation and big quit. People are moving around. And so if you're sitting there today saying, well, yeah, we've got pressure and trends and, we're looking for more people, those other companies that are being aggressive and reaching out to companies like Skillwork, we're finding those skilled tradesmen. And they may be leaving your organization to go to what they consider as greener pasture. So it's a real thing going on, and it's something everybody needs to be aware of and take some pretty aggressive measures right now, because we're seeing it in real time.
Yeah, well, and too, Tim, we know what we do, as a travel staffing company for skilled trades. We're not the only solution to your problem. Obviously, you should be investing in training of your current employees. If that's something you absolutely should be doing. And if you're not, we would strongly encourage that. You should be. We just talked about it in a previous podcast. You should be looking at wages and benefits, and you should be probably increasing them. That's something you should do. The other option that a lot of companies, and we've talked about it before, in previous podcasts as well, is the other thing you could do is you could increase your internal HR talent team. Or we would say, maybe you shouldn't, because not because they can't do their job. The reality is, and we talk to those people, we partner with those HR talent teams, is that the reality is they are so overwhelmed right now on just trying to fill your general labor positions, which, by the way, you got to know who you are. We can't help you with that. We don't do general labor. And so we do specialized skilled maintenance technicians. So if your team is so overwhelmed in trying to resolve that issue, the ability to then outsource or at least get some help in the skilled piece, I think, is why we're seeing this increase from these companies who are recognizing that they need that help. All my friends in the temp agency world won't like this statement, but your temp agency is not going to solve this issue. They're just not. They're not designed to do it. They're great at what they do. If you need local labor, talent, whatever the case may be, they may be able to help you that. We've said it before, but the fact is don't bring a sword to a gunfight, and you've got to find somebody to partner with you. And like I said, we're talking more about today, Skillwork, what we do. This is what we do than we normally would do, but it's a fact. We see it.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about the growth we've seen this year, but just over last year, we obviously we're a company, that's emerging, and we're seeing natural growth for a company, hopefully because we're doing a good job of what we do. But there's more to it than that. Last year alone, in 2021, we saw over 100% growth in the demand for what we do, and expect that trend to be even larger this year. The number of facilities, the needs across the country. So, I mean, while that's great for what we do, again, we're talking to all of you out there that are in this and recognizing that it is, while we projected that this demand would continue, all these things we're seeing so far is that, we need to make sure that we redouble our efforts and really don't put this off, I guess is the message.
Yeah, I think we do. Tim and myself and a third partner of ours, we founded the company on three core values. These haven't changed; they'll never change. And that is, we honor God in everything we do. We bring value and respect back to the trades. That's our second value. And we measure our success by the number of lives we positively impact. Our purpose of the company is to impact lives by providing great skilled workers to outstanding companies. I share those because I get the privilege, probably even more so than Tim. He gets the privilege of talking to a lot more of our great skilled workers. I tend to talk to more of the clients on the other end. And what I hear from most of you is that just the overall labor shortage and the skilled labor shortage will be the biggest challenge. And I always say, with every challenge comes an opportunity in 2022 for leaders and managers. We're sharing today what we do, maybe in a little bit more than we normally would, because for Tim and I, there's no doubt we feel called to our purpose. We feel called to our purpose by what our number one value is, which is to bring honor to God in everything we do. And so we take what we do and the impact that we can have on the health of your organization and your individuals overall. Yeah, it's a business, and we're not ashamed of the fact that we're trying to make money. But the reality is our true why is to impact this challenge and this opportunity by basically living out our purpose every day. So we would love to help you. This typically isn't a call to action podcast, but we just see this trend that's happening and recognize, and we're seeing it. Like I said, our phones are ringing. People are asking for help, but if you haven't called us, we'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, for sure. And those core values of ours are really, they're not just words on a wall. They're not on a poster that we hang out here. We live by them. And as Brett said, I get to talk to our great men and women that work for us, that we deploy to the field. We call them affectionately skill workers. Not very creative, but they're part of our
Simple.
family. And they tell me over and over again that the way they're treated by us, the way that we truly care about them, the way that we respect and value them, it does reflect that number one core value that we're doing it because we believe that that's how God would have us do not only our business but our lives. So it impacts them. So not only are we finding great qualified guys and gals, but people that these core values resonate with them. So it's not just we're pushing bodies your way, but hopefully we're pushing high quality, high character, high integrity people. That's all part of what we do. So, we want to encourage you. It ties back to a lot of what we talk about, your culture, knowing who you're bringing into that culture, making sure they get the appropriate, you're taking care of them as far as wages and benefits. All of these things are necessary, but I can tell you, and we're seeing it, the demand for those guys is going to go even higher, and we're here to help you. I think that was Brett's message, and I think it was maybe important. Before we sign off again today, again, as always, we thank you so much for your time. We know your time is valuable. We appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. I want to remind you again about our new podcast that's out there. You won't see Brett and I there. It'll actually be somebody who's maybe looks better on camera. So it's called The Proud Skilled Worker. It's going to be the voice of the skilled tradesman. And that's what I love, is that it's their voice, what they're seeing. And, I think as a business owner or professional, or HR professional, hiring manager, whoever's listening to this, that's the most important voice to listen to, honestly. So please take a listen to The Proud Skilled Worker. It'll be on all the platforms where you can normally find podcasts. Also, we want to give a shout out to our friends at Texas Boys Outdoors. It's a great outdoor hunting and fishing show. It's on the Pursuit channel. We're partnered with them. We're proud to sponsor them, Brad, and they have a heart for veterans, first responders, people with disabilities. They get them out in the great outdoors. We share the same core values, and we're just really proud to be partnered with them. Go check them out, Texas Boys Outdoors on the Pursuit channel. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us here on the Skillwork Forum.